it fell all over the side. The Bassmasters Classic 1992, the World Championship of Professional Bass Anglers. And you can bet from what we're hearing, this championship is going to be a barn burner. The 22nd annual Test of the Best is being held on Lake Logan Martin, located 35 miles east of Birmingham, Alabama. Logan Martin is a 15,000-acre impoundment fed by the Coosa River, and these 40 classic qualifiers are excited. Logan Martin is full of bass, big bass, both spotted and largemouth. From what we've learned, these Bassmasters caught a lot of good fish during the two-day practice. This could well be the best bass catching classic in history. It's hard to name a favorite given the caliber of these anglers, but you never count out 1991 defending champion Ken Cook of Oklahoma.
I'm pretty happy with what I know about what's going on right now. I think I got 2 patterns at least that are working and a couple others that'll help me some in the meantime.
Nor should you discount all-time B.A.S.S. money leader Larry Nixon, who with a win here would go over the $1 million mark.
I feel like the deeper water is going to win the tournament, either on a big crankbait or a jig or a spinnerbait. These lakes typically in the summertime, the fish have a bad habit of suspending also out on the structure, where sometimes your shallow fish are a little more reliable. You know, that's one of the things that I've got to determine during practice is are these deep fish going to be catchable during the daytime, especially when they're not pulling current.
There's also a lot of heads nodding toward 1992 Angler of the Year Kevin Van Dam. This young Michigan angler has been a powerhouse on the Bassmaster Tournament trail all year, and he likes Logan Martin's potential.
It's going to take a lot of weight to win this tournament. It has a lot of good offshore structure, a lot of ledges and humps with stumps, and a lot of man-made brush piles on them also. And it has a lot of laydowns and good shoreline cover and grass in the water. And the water's kind of stained right now and muddy, and it's making the fishing a little better.
Nor can you count out the likes of former Bass Anglers of the Year Denny Brauer or Guido Hibden, or 4-time world champion Rick Clunn. They're all here, the top 35 professional bass anglers in the world, and the 5 best B.A.S.S. Federation fishermen. The classic contenders are ready, the bass are here. Believe me, it's going to be a shootout. First round action in the 1992 Bassmaster Classic gets underway when we return. I'm Bob Cobb. Stay tuned, the Bassmasters will be right back.
Opening round of the 1992 Bassmasters Classic on Lake Logan Martin. Anticipation runs high. The 40 qualifiers for this $200,000 championship caught more bass in practice than expected. Big bass, and lots of them. The fishermen are ready, and so are the Bassmasters television cameras.
I'm Tommy Martin, winner of the 1974 Bassmasters Classic at Joe Wheeler Reservoir. I'll be providing you with on-the-water commentary here in the 1992 Bassmasters Classic. I'll be explaining the techniques and tactics the leaders are using here on Logan Martin Reservoir.
And it doesn't take long for the 1991 Bassmasters Classic champ Ken Cook to connect. He had a good practice, and his shallow water spinnerbait pattern seems to be holding up. He'd like to make it back-to-back world championships.
All things.
Word has it that Rick Clunn is into the bass in a big way. He already has the 7 bass limit. Our camera crew moves alongside, and Tommy Martin describes the action.
Rick has another fish on a crankbait. He's in a little school of fish here. He's got his rod tipped down, playing the fish very carefully. This may be a better fish. He's taking his time with him. Oh, that is a good fish. He jumped. Boy, that is a pretty fish. Getting him close to the boat. Bring him around the trolling motor. He's figure-8ing that fish, trying to fight him down right there at the boat before he pulls him in. Get the momentum going in his direction. A nice fish. He needs this one badly. He may decide to try to lift this fish. Crankbaits are notorious for losing bass on. That's a good one. Looks like about a 2-pounder. Nice fish, largemouth bass. That should give Rick Clunn a limit of fish. We don't know what size all of the fish are. The last one he boated was, again, on the crankbait, and it looked like about a 2-pound bass. So Rick does have a limit, and it's only 8:58, so he's got lots of time to build on that stringer of fish. Rick has another fish on. Boy, he is in a school of them. That's about every cast. Got his rod tip down, playing this one very carefully also. Up he comes. Just good keeper-sized fish. May not help him. Boy, it's got to be exciting when you're in them like this, where you're getting a strike every cast. The sun has come out now, and I think that's helping. You know, the wind has picked up just a little bit, and the sun's come out, and the fish are getting more active as the day progresses.
Florida's Shaw Grigsby, who finished first overall in the 1992 B.A.S.S. Invitationals, hooks up. With the numbers and size bass here, predictions are it will be hard for a fisherman to catch up if he doesn't score well today. Missed opportunities will be a factor. Back to Rick Clunn.
He's playing him real carefully again, boy. You just can't be too careful with a crankbait. Rick has a very limber, looks like he's utilizing about a 7-foot rod, very limber rod, letting those fish really pull. Taking his time with him. Ooh, the fish is jumping. I mean, he is giving him a time. That fish is a real active fish, and that's always a nightmare on a crankbait. He's got him. He lifted him, put him in the boat. That's a better fish, and there again, I'm sure Rick is going to cull with this fish.
Way upriver, 1982 Bassmasters Classic champ Paul Elias hooks up to a Logan Martin bass, and the foot race is on. One thing you can say about Paul, he uses all of an 18-foot Ranger when fighting a fish. Probably the next thing on the market will be Paul Elias fish fighting sneakers.
Rick is throwing a chartreuse Pose 300 series crankbait, crankbait that runs approximately 9 to 10 feet deep, depending on the line test, and making very long casts in towards the docks. Bait is chartreuse with an orange belly, and he's been getting consistent strikes. He's in a school of fish here. Another fish on. Rick has another fish hooked. He's kneeling down, if you'll notice, and putting that rod tip underwater, playing that fish very carefully. He's got him up in the boat. That's another one I'm sure he'll cull with that fish. Boy, I tell you, this is exciting when you're catching them like this, one after the other. Rick can't help but be excited. He doesn't show a lot of emotion many times, but he's got to be an excited fisherman right now.
Mississippi's Robert Hamilton Jr., a former Birmingham, Alabama angler, told us he's on good bass in several areas. This one's a start, but he's way behind Rick Clunn.
Rick is making long casts with the Pole 300 series deep diving crankbait, and he's using a stop and go type retrieve. He'll retrieve real fast for about 8 or 10 turns and then stop momentarily or pause, and then can start reeling again very fast. He's trying to trigger these fish into striking, and he's doing a real good job at it. Another fish on. He's got another fish. Well, I'll tell you, this is some school of fish here. That's a pretty good little keeper. He's catching more smaller fish now. Apparently he's caught a number of the bigger fish that are in this school.
Flipping boat docks is another summertime pattern that produces on Logan Martin. Missouri's Denny Brauer was non-committal going into this championship. Many thought he might be sandbagging just a little. We'll find out. Weigh-in time indoors at the 17,000-seat Birmingham Jefferson Civic Center Coliseum. This is where it counts. Let's see how Denny scored.
I see nothing but smiles.
It was a good day, Ray.
How many fish did you caught you could not bring in because you were over the limit?
I had a few to spare, but it was hard to come by.
It really looks tough.
It was tough. I'd be real happy with 2 more days like that.
I can imagine. All right, let's weigh up right quick while the fish are ready. They're all alive. And the weight, maybe a new leader. 22 pounds, 15 ounces. Mark it. Folks, let's give it on his hand. There's your new leader, B-Team.
And now Rick Clunn. We know he has a bag full.
Two-hander. There you are, B-Team. Rick Clunn. Here he comes, folks. This could be very close. Rick, how are you? Looks like you had a great day.
Yeah, it was an excellent day, matter of fact.
Everything go precisely as you planned it?
Yeah, it actually went a little better. You know, one of my spots that I thought I had a lot of little fish on, which there was a lot of little fish on, also had some big fish on it. So that I wasn't really counting on that.
We could weigh these quick fish and then we'll talk a minute. Your weight, 21 pounds even, folks. There you are.
The Bassmasters will be right back with the second day's action from the Bassmasters Classic on Alabama's Logan Martin Lake. Don't go away.
Over the side, I tell you the truth.
And here's how it stands for day 2 of the 1992 Bassmasters Classic World Championship. Denny Brauer with 22 pounds 13 ounces is only 1 pound 13 ounces ahead of Rick Clunn. Robert Hamilton Jr. is close with 18 pounds 11 ounces, just 4 pounds 2 ounces off the lead. But in this fishing hole, Denny Brauer knows his lead can evaporate quickly.
It's 6:48 on the second morning of the Bassmasters Classic, and first day leader Denny Brauer is flipping boat docks with a jig back in a little bay right off the main lake. Denny doesn't seem to be concentrating on any particular part of the boat dock. He's just trying to saturate the whole dock, flipping the jig very tight to the dock. He made comment earlier to us that most of his strikes yesterday came after 10 o'clock when the bass were beginning to relate to the cover a lot better. Early in the morning, the bite was not good for him, but of course, you know, he's trying to get that first fish in the boat. He had one on earlier that looked like about 1 3/4 pound largemouth that jumped off before he got it in the boat, and he's had several short strikes on the jig, so the bass were just not taking the jig real good early in the morning.
Rick Clunn, less than 2 pounds behind, is back on his honey hole. This bass might be enough to give him the lead. Florida's Chet Dawson, with 14 pounds 15 ounces yesterday, is also in the hunt. Chet, a former wide receiver for the Miami Dolphins and now full-time touring professional, guides on Lake Okeechobee in the off-season. He's also flipping Logan Martin's many boat docks. Rick still catching bass on crankbaits this second morning. This 46-year-old Texas pro has qualified for a record 19 straight classics. He's won 4. His first in 1976 on Alabama's Lake Guntersville. Denny Brauer needs a big bite to regain the lead.
Denny Brauer has a fish on under a dock, working the fish out. Looks like a pretty good fish, too. Denny gets this one in. This will be his first bass of the morning. It's a good fish. Boy, it fell all over the side. I tell you the truth, the bass hit the deck and went over the side and went back into the lake, and it's just something that you rarely see happen, but man, that's a costly error for Denny Brauer this early in the morning or any time of the day. Denny put his head down, and I could tell it hurt him emotionally. He was upset over it, and the best thing a fisherman can do is just forget it ever happened and just shake it completely and just erase it from your mind immediately and go on to fishing, because if you let it hang on your shoulders, it's going to bother you and maybe you'll make future mistakes.
Fish.
Bob Hamilton is also on fish this second morning, but he needs more than 12-inch keepers to catch Clunn and Brauer. Rick Clunn's fish are consistent again today, but they're running smaller. Brauer's boat dock bass tend to be larger. Rick needs some heavyweights.
Denny Brauer has a fish on in the air. Oh, boy, this is really giving him a fit. In the boat, there we go. Looks like about a 2-pound bass. That'll take a little of the pressure off of Denny that he's been under all morning.
Hamilton's deep water hole on the lower lake is producing, but not what he needs.
Denny has a fish on. Into the boat. Boy, it's fish number 3 for Denny Brauer. He just flipped one off the end of a boat dock. Denny is concentrating more so now towards the outside or the end of the boat docks on the corner post and the ladders that are out near the deeper water on Logan Martin Lake. The water that he's fishing is fairly clear compared to a lot of other water in this lake, and the bass are starting to relate tighter to the cover as the day progresses.
Don't go away. The Bassmasters will be right back from Lake Logan Martin near Birmingham, Alabama, with more second round action in the World Championship of Bass
Now, just
Fishing.
one good fish.
Apparently, Bob Hamilton has located a deep water honey hole. He's a threat to win his first Bassmasters Classic, but he needs some big bass in the boat.
Watch out, I'm coming. I may have 2 on here. No, just one good fish.
Fish on. Denny has a good fish here. Into the boat. Boy, that one came off in midair, but this time it landed in the bottom of the boat, and Denny Brauer has just landed his 3rd keeper.
Is that a pound?
Denny got that fish to hit on the outside of the dock in an underwater brush pile that he found by flipping towards the dock and working his jig back towards the boat, and it took him 2 tries to get that fish.
Rick Clunn continues to trigger Logan Martin's bass to strike. Of all the artificial lures Rick casts, a crankbait, like he's fishing, is his favorite. It's also the type lure that has been responsible for a great majority of his $750,000 in winnings.
Denny Brauer has a fish on. Oh, another fish. It came off. Had it hooked momentarily, and all of a sudden the fish just came unattached. We've talked about this all morning, the difficulty Denny is having in keeping these bass on the jig. Normally a jig is a lure that you just don't lose many fish on. It's a high percentage lure. But Denny Brauer has lost 3 or 4 good strikes this morning on a jig.
And here's a big bite for Robert Hamilton Jr.
Good
This
fish
is the
here.
size bass Classic wins are made of.
Big largemouth. Okay, big largemouth. This is the fish I needed. I'm coming back there, partner. He's hooked good. All right, there we go. There's a 7-pounder.
Probably biggest fish of the day.
Yeah, that fish is good, 7 pounds. This fish has been hooked right there. I bet that's the fish I missed here this morning.
Possible.
It's getting up later in the morning, and Denny Brauer continues to fish boat docks, but he's had his problems today. Denny has 3 bass in the live well at this time. He's had to fight off a thunderstorm a little bit earlier, and he's still probing these docks. Oh, he's got one on. Looks like a pretty good fish, too. He caught him out of an underwater brush pile right off that dock. Man, I hope he doesn't lose this one. Get him in, Denny. There we go. Boy, it's a nice fish, about 3 pounds. Denny just finessed one out of a brush pile. He was about 6 feet out off of a dock in about 8 or 9 feet of water, and he was just vertically jigging up and down in that brush pile till he got that nice spotted bass to hit.
Rick Clunn is still in the bass. He's had an outstanding career and year, finishing 2nd in the Angler of the Year race to Kevin Van Dam. Also runner-up in the 1992 Megabucks tournament, and had 5 other top 10 finishes. He last won the Classic in 1990, coming from 10th place the last day. He's near the lead, but we've got a 3-horse race today.
Denny has a fish on. Looks like a pretty good fish. Into the boat. Atta boy. That's a good 2+ pound bass. That'll give Denny Brauer 6 fish for the day, and he's very close to the limit now, but we only have 30 minutes to fish. Denny's gonna have to hustle to get that limit fish in the boat.
Robert Hamilton Jr. is catching up fast. If he can keep up his pace, he's got a good shot. Get him in the boat, Bob.
Another big one. He's probably as big as that other one. Here I come. Man, he ain't as big as the other one, but he'll do his big. Watch out, I'm swinging. Move, move, move. Good spotted bass. All right, there we go.
Can anything else go wrong for Denny Brauer today? Yep.
The second day of competition is over. The anglers are on their way back to the Civic Center. You can bet on one thing for sure, the leaderboard is sure to change. Stay tuned. The Bassmasters will be right back from the Bassmasters Classic in Birmingham, Alabama.
4 times winner of the Bassmasters Classic, Mr. Rick Clunn of Montgomery, Texas.
The 1992 Bassmasters Classic second day weigh-in. This is a big one because it's going to set the stage and strategy for the final shootout tomorrow.
Anybody that can establish some consistency is the one that's really going to win this tournament.
All right, you wait for 7 bass. 12 pounds, 10 ounces. That will put him in the lead, folks, right there. You're back in the lead.
How did Denny Brauer, yesterday's leader, end up?
You need 10 pounds and 14 ounces to take the lead back because you've had several people, including Tommy Biffle, to move ahead. Watch the weight. Let's wait real quick. You took the lead back. 11 pounds, 7 ounces. Let's have a nice hand for Denny Brauer. Boom.
Now Robert Hamilton Jr. Can he take the lead?
Come on, Bob. Give us a big fish, man. We want to see a Southern boy. Wow! Dewey, look at that. There's your largemouth, man. That could be that note that will put him in the lead. Bob Hamilton. We got yourself a new leader for sure. Make way for Robert Hamilton, folks. Let's give him a good hand, B-team, as he comes up here. Bingo for the boy from Jackson, Mississippi. Bob Hamilton. Robert, man.
Ray, it's been an incredible day.
Well, man, I can feel your heart beating all the way through your shoulder.
I tell you, I caught the last 3-pounder about 2 o'clock and told my partner that I got an adrenaline rush. He said if I hadn't, he'd have thought I was brain dead.
Watch the scales, folks. He's got to have a good weight to take the lead, and he does. He's got the lead, 23 pounds, 4 ounces.
The final morning of Classic 92. Robert Hamilton Jr. leads this test of the best by 7 pounds, 11 ounces over Denny Brauer, with Rick Clunn only 10 ounces behind Denny. But it's still a contest. Here's the leader's game plan.
Well, basically, this place has got a combination of largemouth and spots on it, and I'm catching them on a jig and a crankbait and a big spinnerbait. The jig has seemed to work pretty good up until about lunchtime, and then they get on the crankbait pattern in the afternoon a little better. I really don't know what to expect today from boat traffic. I don't know if it's going to affect these deep fish as much. But I'm going to just stay with my game plan. I feel like to win a tournament, I'm still going to have to put up a pretty good number today.
How's Denny Brauer feel about being over 7 pounds behind in second place?
Yeah, it's a little better than third is about all I can say about it. I don't mind being in second place. I'd like to have been a little closer than 7.5 pounds, but at least we're on a lake where 7.5 pounds can be made up. I feel real confident I'll get the opportunities, and if it's meant to be, I'll win it.
Bob has his first fish on of the morning on a spinnerbait. Pretty good fish in the boat. Boy, that's a nice one. Bob Hamilton Jr. has just caught his first fish of the morning on the final round of the Bassmasters Classic. He fished this hump with a jig for about 10 or 15 minutes with no results, and then went to a deep diving crankbait and didn't get any takers on it, and he switched over to a spinnerbait. He was fishing the spinnerbait very slowly, finessing it through the underwater brush, and caught that first fish. Bob may be on something. It appears that he's doing something a little bit different than we've seen any of the other anglers doing here in the Classic.
I'm letting this spinnerbait go all the way to the bottom here, and when I get it around a brush pile, as soon as I come over the top and it flutters back down, I ripped it up 6 or 7 feet off the bottom and stopped it. And when I did, I think these fish are following these baits, and when it just stops in front of them, they have two choices, either just to eat it or run into it. So I think it's keying a few bites during the day that otherwise I don't really think I would get.
Rick Clunn is also catching bass this last morning, but like Denny, he needs an anchor fish to catch up.
Bob Hamilton has just hooked his second fish of the morning, and it is a good bass. Wow, what a fish.
That was my big largemouth bite. He hit it coming up, and I never could get the hook in him. That was a 5 or 6 pound largemouth.
Denny's catching bass at his first early morning stop upriver. He'll leave here soon for his dock pattern.
There's one.
Bob has the fish on. This is just the
largemouth, I believe.
Second bass of the morning. Things have been real slow for Bob Hamilton, but things are fixing to change. He's got a real good bass on.
No, stay down, fish.
Got him hooked on a big deep diving Norman crankbait. If we can just put him in the boat, this is a critical fish for Bob Hamilton. There he comes over the side. Bob's got him. Boy, that's a dandy.
The bass are feeding. Rick Clunn scores again.
There's a big fish.
Bob Hamilton has another fish on. He's slow rolling the spinnerbait through this brush pile that he just caught the first bass out of.
It's a big spot, I believe.
He's fighting it real carefully. The fish hasn't come to the surface yet. Holding his rod down, playing this fish very carefully. Bob may be on a concentration of bass now. Things have been slow for him most of the morning, but everything has changed. He pulled into this location, has a good fish, it's gone.
Stay tuned. The action gets hotter and the tension tighter as the final hours melt to precious last casts in the 1992 Bassmasters Classic World Championship. We'll be right back from Alabama's Lake Logan Martin.
Oh, golly, that's a spot.
As the final hours of Classic 92 tick by, what are Robert Hamilton's feelings?
If you get beat by a big stringer, there's nothing you can do about it, but I just haven't executed real well this morning. You've got to get those 3 to 4, 5 pound fish in the boat when they bite.
Bob has another fish on. He's still slow rolling the big shark spinnerbait, and he's got another good fish on.
Big, he just came off. That was a bigger fish than the last fish.
Boy, that's got to be disheartening to Bob Hamilton. He just lost another real heavy fish on a big chartreuse spinnerbait in the underwater brush pile. He's fishing here right off the old roadbed. It's got to be just breaking his heart to lose these fish because he's already lost enough bass this morning to practically put the 1992 Bassmasters Classic away.
Don't bury Denny Brauer just yet. Here's the kind of bass he needs to get new life. A couple of lunkers and he's back in the hunt.
Bob Hamilton Jr. has just changed locations and he's moved into one of his primary areas, a long offshore point that runs way out in the middle of a big cove about in the middle of the lake.
There he is.
Bob Hamilton has a fish on.
Can you go throw a marker buoy out, please?
Just hooked a real good fish on a deep diving crankbait on a long cast. It is a good one.
Fish.
Boy, he jumped.
Stay down, fish.
Bob's trying
just
to keep
drop
him
behind
down,
the boat.
working him real slowly. Got him on the big crankbait, always subject to lose one on the crankbait.
He's got one hook barely in him.
Bob just made comment that the fish is barely hooked. He's had a terrible day with the fish today.
I got one shot with him, I think, that he'll jump into the boat. Hot dog.
Oh, he got him. Boy, that's a pretty fish. It looked like about a 3-pounder. Bob has had such terrible luck this morning.
He rehooked himself
really nice
when he
to see
made
him
that
get one
last
in.
surge with both hooks.
Rick Clunn's got a big fish hooked. He's got a limit in the live well. With this one, he'll pull ahead of Bob Hamilton.
There's one.
Bob Hamilton has another bass on.
It's a little fish, I believe, but
he's holding his rod tip down, playing the fish very carefully, up and in the boat. It is a keeper, small fish, but it's a keeper. And at this point in time, anything Bob can put in the box is certainly going to help him.
Rick Clunn's got another good fish. That'll hurt.
I tell you, sometimes if it's meant to be, it's going to happen no matter what you do right. It doesn't work, and no matter what you do wrong, sometimes it still works. So maybe this morning was one of those days where we can still recover and come back.
Boy, he really needed that fish badly. That may be just the most critical fish that Bob Hamilton has caught in this tournament.
Here's another angler trying to bounce back, but the air is going out of Denny's bag. The Bassmasters will be right back with the thrilling conclusion of Classic 92. Stay tuned.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I tell you, I had saved this spot. I didn't figure anybody would find it. I'd saved it for today in case I got in trouble. It sure is looking good now, isn't it?
Bob Hamilton is now fishing a long underwater point that runs way out into the middle of a cove. He just made mention that he had saved this spot specifically for the last day, hoping nobody else would find it and figuring that he would probably need it, which he did. Bob is alternating between two different crankbaits out on this point, fishing over between 15 and 18 feet of water on the end of the point. He's using a big Norman DD22 chartreuse in color crankbait and also a Bomber Model 9A Fire Tiger in color. And he's cranking these baits with 10-pound test Trilene XT line, trying to get the baits down as close to bottom as he can, but really he's not bumping bottom out in this depth of water. Most of his fish are suspended 3 and 4 feet above the bottom, and he can actually see the fish on his locator.
I'm coming back there, partner. He's going around.
Bob really needs this fish badly. He must land this fish to win the 1992 Bassmasters Classic.
Oh, no. Watch out. Watch out. Yes, sir.
Got him in the boat. Gosh, got him in. Boy, that's going to be a big help to Bob Hamilton.
Thank you, sir. That fish is a good 4 3/4.
For sure, it's never over till it's over, and Rick Clunn is known for his last-minute charges. He needs one here if he's to pull it off.
The day is winding down on Bob Hamilton Jr. He's got about 25 minutes left to fish. He's got 6 good bass in the live well, a real good creel, but Bob needs one more fish, that limit fish, to put it away for him.
And so does Denny Brauer. He can do it on 2 big bites, and here's one.
Bob Hamilton has a good fish on. He just pulled into this location. It's an underwater brush pile, and he's got a good fish on. This will be his limit fish if he can get it in the boat. It's a nice fish. Bob needs this fish badly. In the boat to go. That's his limit fish.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
The fishing action is history here on Logan Martin Lake. But for the more than 17,000 fans jammed into the Birmingham Jefferson Civic Center, the best is yet to come. A pre-weigh-in show in celebration of the 25th anniversary of the Bass Angler Sportsman Society.
Mr. Bass himself, Ray Scott.
Now it's weigh-in time, and Florida's Chet Doffett has a bag full.
Chet Doffett. Chet, that is a remarkable performance.
Ray, it's been one of them days. I've had a good tournament. Today was just one of them days that I got everything in and just everything clicked and worked right.
What lure were you using most of the day?
I started out using a worm, and after I caught my limit by 8:30,
just a minute, excuse me for interrupting. I want to make sure these fish are weighed before they lose a drop of water. Total weight, there you are, folks. 20 pounds, 11 ounces. Bingo!
Paul Elias has a big bass. Will it put him on top?
Great goodness alive. That's what it's all about. That will keep him up in the top. All right, tremendous.
I went out and gambled today, Ray, and I guess I lost all my money. But
all right, let's weigh him real quick, just a second. This weight's important. 5 bass weigh 14 pounds and 4 ounces. Give a nice hand, folks. We're gonna weigh this baby. Big bass is 5 pounds and 10 ounces, and Ron Sheffield holds that right now. Let's layer in there. It's got to be 5 pounds and 10 ounces. It does. It's 6 pounds, 5 ounces. You got the biggie. All right.
And now Denny Brauer. Can he pull it off?
Oh, glory. That's it. That might do it. Boy, that could be it.
He might take the lead, Ray. He might take the lead.
That's going to give him the fish he needs. All right, here we go. You need 13 pounds and 14 ounces, Denny. You'll be the Bassmasters Classic champion. Unless somebody behind you beats you. We still got 2 more, I think, to weigh in. Watch the scales, folks. He needs 13, 14. He's got it. 17 pounds, 9 ounces. Bingo. Boy, oh boy.
Well, this has been one of the most frustrating but yet most exciting tournaments I've ever fished, Ray. I don't regret anything that happened. Had an excellent tournament. I hope it's enough, but in tournament fishing, all you can do is give it your best, and I've certainly done that, so let's hope it hangs on.
All the best.
Next, Rick Clunn. Did he catch his big one?
7 bass and all wiggling. The weight, not enough. 12 pounds and 12 ounces, Rick Clunn. Congratulations to you, my friend. That's going to put you right up there at the top, but Denny Brauer still has the lead.
No matter how this turns out, you know, Alabama's been real good to me. I won my first Classic here in '76. I won Angler of the Year here in '88. Caught my biggest bass here, 13, 15 in Alabama. So I really can't complain no matter how it turns out. And I'd sure like to come back and see this place again sometime.
Well, I think you're welcome back. How about it, Birmingham? Rick Clunn, thank you, my good friend. Congratulations. You're in 3rd place. Robert Hamilton of Jackson, Mississippi. Fishing his 2nd Bassmasters Classic. He's the only man that has a chance to take our lead away from Denny Brauer. He's got to have 9 pounds and 15 ounces to win, and that may do it. That could do it. That's awful close. Do it. That's if he catches it. Folks, that's it. Okay, come on. If he catches another 2-pounder, a 3-pounder, I know he's won it. There you are, your winner, Robert Hamilton, 1992 Bassmasters Classic champion, Jackson, Mississippi. Winnie, somebody grab Winnie and have her ready. Dream of a lifetime. His partner was David Morris today, and David just whispered to me, he said he never seen anything like it. Robert Hamilton. If he tops 10 pounds, he's won the 1992 Classic. Let's don't waste any time. We want to check him quickly. I've never seen finer fish. Denny Brauer is leading. If his fish can total 10 pounds or more, you've won yourself a Classic. Watch carefully. 17 pounds, 17 pounds, 7 ounces. There's your winner, Robert Hamilton, Jackson, Mississippi.
Over 25 years of innovation. Berkeley Power Baits, fortified with flavor and scent enhancers so powerful fish just won't let go. Rubbermaid, Specialty Products Division. Don't you wish everything was made like Rubbermaid? BP, a leading producer of oil and gas for America's energy needs. And the Bass Angler Sportsman Society, the world's largest bass fishing organization.